Hey Mixers, welcome back into another WNBA player props video. I'm filming this before the Thursday games have been played, so we can't review those picks yet. But I've got a couple of them for you here in this video. It'll be a quicker one since we don't have all the player props up yet, and then maybe we'll be adding some tonight or tomorrow morning. I didn't get a preseason video out for tonight. I'm going to try and do another NFL preseason video sometime this week, but I might miss it. Depends. It's not really high on my list of priorities right now, but these WNBA videos are. So, yeah, let's get into the Friday picks. Here's a quick little reminder of our picks for today. And then I don't know why that's still on there. And then our player props from today. And then we did add Caitlin Clark on in the pinned comment. And then our game bet. And then jumping into the Friday plays. So we've got the Lynx at the Mystics. And these two teams have played twice already this season. Washington won the first one in Minnesota in a surprise victory by 5 points. And then they played back-to-back, basically. And then the Lynx came to Washington, and the Lynx won by 2 points. Fee did not play in either one of those games. She will also miss this game for rest. Olivia Miles is probable, but she was on the injury report. I'm assuming she will play since Fee is not going to play. So the spread here is 3.5. It started at 5.5, and I loved it there for the Mystics. And then the total is 163.5 last I saw. So the trends right now are, these are the two number one and number two covering teams in the league. The Mystics are number one. The Minnesota Lynx are number two. The Lynx are on a 15-1 winning streak. Like they've lost one game in the last 16 games straight up. And Washington has not lost at home since July 16th in a surprise loss to the Portland Fire, if you guys remember that game. So the Mystics have been playing pretty good basketball, and especially at home. And the Minnesota Lynx have just been playing incredible basketball. So I'm going to give the win to the Lynx here, but I'm going to give the cover to the Mystics. I think it'll be a tight one. And so I'll take the 3.5. If it gets under to 2.5, I don't think I would be taking it at that point. Over 163.5, just because I know these two previous games went to 163 and 154. But I do think that there will be a few more points in this game. They are not going to be able to lock down this Mystics team in the front court like they did with the Valkyries, and who don't really have much of a front court. And then the guards might get locked down, like Sonia Citron and Georgia Amore might get locked down. I mean, they had pretty good games against this Lynx team when they played previously. So maybe this looks completely silly and Minnesota wins by 15 points. But I'm going to go ahead and roll with that. And then the Valkyries at the Sky. So they've played each other twice already, both times in Golden State. Chicago won the first one early in the season, and they had Rickea Jackson back then, and they won by 6. And then the second time they played, they lost by 20 points, and Sydney Taylor and Rickea Jackson both did not play in that game. The Valkyries were on a 6-game win streak, and that was ended by the Lynx just barely. And so I think the Valkyries do look good in this game, but ultimately I think the Sky can compete against most teams in the league. And maybe not against this Valkyries team, but 5.5 points seems like a lot. They just beat the Liberty outright, which I know the Liberty aren't the best defensive team, but I'm going to go with Chicago plus 5.5, Golden State to win, and the over 162.5, even though I know they just played a low-scoring game with the Lynx. All right, the Fire and the Tempo. So not sure how many Tempo players will be out for this one. Marina, Brittany Sykes, Niara Sabally, and Marie Kondo are all on the injury report. And so I'm not sure who's going to play out of all of them. And I just like Portland in this game. I mean, they've played each other twice already this season. Portland has won both times, and they won by 19 and 14. Portland is playing decent basketball right now versus the Tempo are not. And so the Portland Fire our top 6. They're 6th in offensive rating right now, 5th in defensive rating somehow, and 5th in pace. So they're top 5 in basically the top 3 categories here versus the Tempo, who are 8th offensively, 15th defensively, and 3rd in pace. So this should be a high-paced, high-scoring game where Portland wins by like 8 points. So I'm going to... Portland has also won 4 out of their last 5 games. Toronto has lost 12 in a row. This would be kind of a get-right spot, or like up against the Seattle Storm, who they will be playing in a couple of games. But I just think they keep losing the rest of the season. Not every single game necessarily. So I'll take the under 186.5, even though I said it was going to be high scoring. Like if Marina's out or Brittany Sykes is out, then, I don't know that they can push it that high. So that's what I'm going to do. But neither one of these teams are going to be playing defense. So I don't feel much like I'm not convicted on that total. I do like Portland -1.5 and Portland on the money line. And I don't know what the money line price is, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just add Portland -1.5 on this one as a bet for the channel. I will add that in the pinned comment. If it doesn't make it to the pinned comment, it doesn't count because it has to be written somewhere. But I will try to remember to put it there. All right, Kiki Iriefin is my first best bet for you. And honestly, I'm having Aaliyah Boston flashbacks because it's the same number, 8.5 rebounds. And Kiki's over this line 67% of the last 21 games, which is obviously fantastic. That goes up to 72% in the last 21 home games. And she had 7 and 11 in both of the two head-to-heads this season. The 11 was the one at home. The 7 was the away game. She also cleared it last season in 2 out of the 3 head-to-heads, including the 1 home game where she had 10. So I think that this is a great play. It's too low, too much focus on Shakira right now, who has been playing great, so she deserves the focus, but I think Kiki can come in and get these rebounds here. All right, we're doing a ladder on Carla Late, the most dangerous ladder I've ever set up, possibly. So this is a smash matchup for assists. The Tempo are giving up the most assists in the WNBA right now, and Carla Late is a good assister. So the normal line is 6.5, and it's juiced -150 about. And she's gone over that line 62% of the time in the last 21 games. She had 9 and 11 in the 2 head-to-heads against the Tempo this season. And like I said, they give up the most assists in the WNBA. So this is a smash spot. The only I don't know how we don't clear this unless she sits and doesn't play a full game, which has happened to me before betting on Carla Late, and that is why I've stayed off of her. But I'm going in on the ladder, so let me give you the legs. So since we don't have an even line to start at, we're going to go down to -290 for the over 5.5 at 2 units. Over 6.5 for 1 unit at -152 is the price I found. Most of these prices I found on FanDuel. The 165 I found on DraftKings. So Carla Late over 7.5 for 120, +120, half a unit. Over the 8.5 for +165 at a quarter unit. And then over the, for a double-double basically for +350. For a quarter unit as well. So, which the points are not necessarily secure, but her points line is set at 17.5, which is very high. But it's very possible she only gets like 8 or 9 points. So, you could miss it. But that's what I'm doing. It's 4 units. I do not want to be risking 4 units on Carla Late. So I don't feel that good about it. But you have to put a ton of units on those lower legs in order to cover those upper legs if they fail. That's just how a ladder works. So essentially, we have to hit the first two rungs in order to make money. We can't just hit the first rung. We have to hit the first 2, and if we hit the first 2, we're making money, and then anything above that is just gravy. So that is how I build my ladders. Don't really love this one because there's not a middle rung there that's even money, or -115, like a normal price basically. So that's what I'm doing. You guys can decide if you want to do that as well. Okay, I also like Bridget Carlton over 4.5 rebounds. That's a lean because it's juiced -140 on most sites. I did see it on DraftKings for -125, so that is the best price. She's over in the last 6 games in a row. She had 11 and 2 in the 2 previous head-to-heads. And obviously everyone's healthy, so Megan Gustafson's there. She's going to get rebounds. I'm not sure who on the Tempo is getting these rebounds besides Anissa Morrow. So, and I will be looking at Anissa Morrow rebounds as well. We don't have a line for her yet, but I'm very interested in Anissa Morrow rebounds because I don't know who's going to get the rebounds in this game, and I think she's going to be able to grab plenty of them. So this one's just a lean because of the price. And so I have 1 best bet, 1 lean, and then the Carla Late ladder. And so since whenever we do a ladder, we like to do this with our cash prize giveaway. You need to name the exact amount of assists that Carla Late is going to have in this game. And if you get the correct number, then you will be in on the wheel for the cash prize giveaway with everybody else who also gets the correct number. Just remember to make your comment unique in some way. Don't just put a number because YouTube will block your comment for spam and I will never see it. So, then you won't get in for the cash prize giveaway if you actually win. So make sure that you like do some emojis or just like a sentence about what you think about the slate. And like I said, we're filming this very early, so we might be adding things later tonight or tomorrow as more and more of these lines come out. But let's go ahead and jump into Props Madness. Before I do, make sure you like the video, make sure you are subscribed, obviously, and then comment to get in for the cash prize giveaway. Those are the free things that you guys can do for me. I never ask you guys for a single penny of your money. But let's go ahead and jump into Props Madness, and we'll take a deeper dive into some of these players' lines. All right, you guys, so starting with the Valkyries in the sky, Gabby burned me yesterday. Like, she only had 10 points, but most of those came right at the end. She only had like 2 points in the first half of the game. So that was incredibly frustrating, and it is tough betting on Valkyries players in general because not only do you not know if it's going to be a crazy low-scoring game, but also they have really weird rotations. So I actually expect Caitlin Chen and Tiffany Hayes to have a good game in this one based on who they're playing. So I'm not going to be going in on Gabby. Like, she does not have the best shot chart. Let's change it to the last 5. She can score from anywhere, but the best scoring zones are going to be the paint and the restricted area, which is going to be like mostly Tiffany Hayes is going to be driving down there a lot. And I just don't know how much time she's going to get because she played a full amount of minutes in the last game. And the Valkyries do like to rotate their players a lot to keep them rested. Caitlin Chen barely played, so she might play a lot more in this game. And we're probably not even going to get a line for her. And also, Gabby doesn't play as well in away games, as I've shown you before. So at home, 70%, out away 46% over her points line. The assists and the rebounds, it's kind of like she just hasn't really been hitting these, but the lines are too low to fade. And then for threes, I would probably lean to the over, but I mean, she's been missing in a lot of these games, and she's only taken 3 attempts in some of these games. So I don't think we can be doing that. She had 3 in one head-to-head and 0 in the other one. So it's just too boom bust. Like, it's not worth the risk for the price that we're paying to get the prop. So I'm completely off Gabby in this game. Veronica, I'm a bit more interested just because she will drive to the hoop if they're losing. Like, for instance, in this game with the Lynx, they were losing, and so she picked up the pace. And so I kind of like her. She's been over both times against the Sky. But I think I'm going to like Tiffany Hayes a little bit better. We're not getting a line for Tiffany Hayes yet. But Veronica has taken 9 shots, 11 shots, 9, 6, 13, 9. So she's going to take somewhere between 9 and 12 shots for the most part. And then she'll probably get a free throw or 2 against this Sky team. I think I would lean to the over on Veronica Burton's 12.5 points line. The assist line she barely cleared in the last game, and she has not cleared it against the Sky, having 4 assists and 2 assists against them. The Sky are allowing like the 4th most right now, it looks like. They're 11th in the WNBA at defending assists. So I guess I would lean to the over, but she missed it both times in the 2 head-to-heads. So that's not something I think I'd be betting. The rebounds at 3.5, I think there's better rebounders on the court, like mostly on the Sky side, I guess. Camila Cardoso, Azure, I guess that's it. But like Gabriela Hawkes, she's a great rebounder, but she's not getting very many minutes. So maybe Veronica does get here. She had 3 and 6 in the last 2 games. So I guess you could play a PR. Let's see what they give us for a PR. It would be like 15.5. I would think about it, and it's at 16.5. So I think you just play the points line individually. I think that's better. And let's see. First quarter points, first half points. Yeah, I don't think I want any of these. And then we're not getting a turnovers line or a free throws attempted line. Janelle Salon has a bad shot chart. Like, this is not where we want to be taking the 3-point shooters. This is where we want to be taking the players who drive to the hoop more. So that would be Veronica Burton, maybe a little bit of Zandalicini, but not really. Mostly Veronica Burton, Tiffany Hayes, Caitlin Chen. Like, those are the 3 ladies that I want to be on for this matchup, if I'm on anyone at all. So it is a low points line at 8.5, and she played 30 minutes in the last game, still only got 8. And so, I don't know. She had 12 last time. Oh, sorry, this is not Salon. She had 15 in the last one. She only had 6 head-to-head the last time she played, and only played 17 minutes in that game. She played 24 minutes in the last game, 19, 21, 17, 21. So she could play anywhere from 17 minutes to 30 minutes. And I don't like that kind of variance, especially for a high 11.5 line. I think if I'm going to take anyone for that many points in a game like where the 3-point shooting isn't good, then I would take Veronica. All right. Xanda Lucini, I'm probably never playing again because she disappoints me every single time I bet on her. But this could be a good look for her to get some extra minutes and drive to the hoop, because she does drive to the hoop more than like Janelle Salon does. I guess it's about the same though. I would stay off both of them. All right, Camila Cardoso, 13.5 points. She did have 8 and 20 in the two previous head-to-heads, and the 20 was only in 22 minutes played. They lost by 20 points, so they're probably just giving up a lot of easy buckets to her at the end of the game. But she's been crushing this line. She doesn't have the best shot chart. They rank number 1 against the restricted area scoring right now, but it's a low line. And if she gets 30 minutes, I do think that she probably could clear the line. So I would go to the over on the 13.5 Camila Cardoso points. That is where I would lean. Rebounds at 8.5, I would also probably lean over. She only had 7 and 6 in the previous two matchups, but I think I would lean over on that. I don't think anything is good enough on Camila Cardoso to bet. She's too inconsistent. She lets people down, and it's not a smash spot for her. So I would rather just try and target those smash spots. Sydney Taylor's getting a 13.5 points line, which seems a little high, where she only played 17 minutes in that last game and 17 minutes in the previous game before that, before the injury and then after the injury. So I don't expect her to play 30 minutes in this game. Maybe 20, maybe like 22, probably not 25 or 26. Plus the shot chart just looks absolutely horrible. So I do think this line is a little bit too high for Sydney Taylor, but I'm hoping she can at least draw some defense so that, some of the other players can score and that the Sky can stay in this game and not make it like a 100-point game, basically. So I would lean over on the threes still because it's only 2, but it's minus 174, so the price isn't worth it. I think the Valkyries' game plan is going to be to force Azure to take shots because she's not good, and she easily misses a contested shot all the time. So I think that their game plan, because Natalie Nakase is one of the smartest coaches in the WNBA, she knows that too. So she's going to force Azure to take shots, and so I think we want to go in on an Azure field goals attempted line tomorrow. She's been taking 9, 7, 4, 9, 13, 5, and 12. And so we might get the line at like a really good number, like 8.5 or 9.5 even. And so we're just betting on her taking double-digit shot attempts. And I think she will. So that's kind of where I'm leaning for tomorrow. I don't know about the points. I don't think I'd take it. The rebounds over 6.5, I guess I would lean over, but you can't play Azure and Camila Cardoso, so you're gonna have to choose. I'm probably not playing either one. Besides, I might look at Azure's field goals attempted tomorrow. Turnovers might also be good for Azure. Well, I guess she's consistently got 1 in a lot of games. Against the Valkyries, though, she did have 3, and the Valkyries are known for taking the ball away. So I might look at that as well. Okay, moving on. So Natasha Cloud had a monster game. She doesn't really have a good shot chart in this game and didn't clear her points line in both previous head-to-heads with the Valkyries. The assist, she did have one crazy assist game against the Valkyries with 9. And was Courtney Vandersloot playing in that game? It looks like she was. So that is a little crazy that she got that many assists. Over the 3.5 rebounds, I guess I would lean over on the rebounds. The assist is a little high for me. So I think it would just be rebounds for me, and it's plus 110. So that is probably what I would end up doing, is over the 3.5 rebounds for Natasha Cloud at plus 110. I think you could probably throw like a quarter unit on that just for fun and see how it goes. First quarter points over 2.5. She did hit it once with 4 and 0 in the other head-to-head that she played. She's hit it 3 times in a row. She does hit it more at home, but still only 56%. But, it's better than 42% or something like that. And I don't know, we haven't gotten the line, but I would lean over on the first quarter points for Natasha Cloud. And then on the bench, or at least like players that we aren't getting lines for yet, I would be interested in Tiffany Hayes. So I don't know if we'll get 10, like an 8.5 points line. Probably not. If I was the books, I would probably set it at 10.5 and make you choose, because this is a really good matchup for Tiffany Hayes. She had 22 points the last time she played them. And so I think I would have to put something on this for Tiffany Hayes over a 10.5 points line. If it really does come out at 8.5, like this projected line says, yeah, I'm gonna bet it. That'll be a best bet. If it's 10.5, it'll probably be a lean, and I will probably throw something on it. The assists, I'm probably not interested in, and the rebounds, I'm probably not interested in, but she has ticked up in both lately. So if you want a full PRA, I bet we get it at like 15.5 or even 16.5. And I guess you could take the over there. I think I'd rather just focus on the points. Kyla Charles not interested. And then Caitlin Chen, we're probably not going to get a line for her. And she also hasn't been having good games lately, only playing like 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes. So I'm not exactly sure why. If you know why, let me know, because I did miss out on like a week of games. So yeah, and then on the Sky side, it looks like Dejanay is going to be out. I did not see that earlier. Koulibaly is questionable. JC Sheldon, not interested. Courtney Vandersloot, probably not interested. Like, the Sky are going to live or die by whether or not Natasha Howard and Sloot can assist to Cardoso, and whether or not those can go in, and whether or not Sydney Taylor's threes can go in. I think the Valkyries could actually shut this team down now that I'm thinking about it more. And it could end up being an ugly, low-scoring game. It is a good scoring game from the viewpoint of the Valkyries, in my opinion. So, like, I don't know. Maybe I won't have anything on this at all because it ends up being a really low-scoring game. That's what I'm thinking now that I've thought about it. All right, the Lynx and the Mystics. Sometimes you got to say something out loud, just to like be like, that actually sounds crazy. I'm not doing that. All right, Olivia Miles, 19.5 points. I think she'll get there just because Fee's not there. She had 22 and 21 against this team both times they played earlier. Without Fee in away games, she scored pretty well in the recent games and then not so great at the beginning of the season. But yeah, I'd probably lean to the over. Maybe like a first quarter or first half points line for her. I love the first half points line for Olivia, but I like getting it at like 8.5. And if they give it, it's going to be 9.5. And I don't know if I really like it there. 6.5 assists feels like too much. She only had 5 and 6 against them previously. And they have a really tough front court, so they're just tough to assist on. Rebounds, I probably wouldn't touch that either because they're one of the best rebounding teams in the league. Let's see what their rank is right now. Number 1. So right now in the last 5 games, they're number 1. I would like her over her 1.5 3-pointers made at plus 118. This is crazy. Yeah, she's for sure going to make 2 3-pointers. She didn't do it in both of these 2 previous games. Shot 1 for 4 and 1 for 6. But I really like her. For plus money, I mean, I think we need to take a shot on this. Plus 118. Let's see. Best price is DraftKings plus 124. So I will put that in the pinned comment. Over 1.5 threes made for Olivia. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, moving on to Kayla. So the way you beat the Mystics is by shooting threes because they've got the front court locked down. So that is one of the reasons why I like it. So Kayla McBride, I kind of like her in this game as well because for that same reason. She only had 12 and 19 in the 2 previous games. She only shot 11 shots in this game. She took 18 shots in this game. And without Fee, she was taking like 14 plus consistently. And with Fee, she's been taking like all over the place, literally 6 to 21 point shot attempts. So I would have to lean over on Kayla McBride, but it's a very high line. Definitely will not be playing it. The assist and the rebound, I would be careful about fading it because I was looking at it for a fade originally. Because with Fee, it's like she's only hit it twice and barely. But without her, She hit it 67% of the time. So she might go straight back to that. And then both times hit it head to head, she hit it. So a safer line for Kayla McBride might actually be the PRA on the over. I just think the points line is a little bit high. So don't fade Kayla McBride is what you should be taking out of this. Okay. That's it for her. Courtney is getting a high points line as well, 14.5, because Fee's not going to play. And she does shoot in mostly the mid-range, which is going to be where you want to take shots against the Mystics. So above the break and the mid-range, that's how you beat them. Head-to-head, she had 13-5, took 15 shots in this game, took 9 shots in this game. So I don't know who was guarding her. Most likely Georgia Amore was guarding her, but I can't remember. She doesn't play as well in away games either. I think it's too high for me to take, but I think she lands right around like 12 to 16. Like, I think the line is set really well, and I'm too scared to take it, so I will not. And then the assists, I'd probably stay off that, and then the rebounds, I'd stay off that as well because she rebounds better at home. Even without Fee, like, I know her rebounds are going to go up, but at home, it's over 72% of the time. Away, only 54% of the time. We're used to getting that 5.5 line that we were fading earlier in the season. So it's a shame we're not getting that anymore, but obviously that would be a slam dunk. So let's see what we can get on a full fade of like a total PRA. Only 23.5. So I mean, yeah, it's a little low. I don't want to be fading that. Let's see. The 18.5 PR is also a little bit too low to fade. I would want 19.5. So they're already suggesting that she might go under on the points or the rebounds. And probably both. That's what I'm thinking. I think she gets like 12 points, maybe 3 or 4 assists, and like 3 rebounds. That's what I'm thinking. So that would be like 7, 19. That'd be 19 PRA. And the PRA line's at 23.5. It does feel too high. Okay. But if they're losing, which I did pick the Mystics to keep it close, then Courtney and Kayla and Olivia and even Natasha Howard, they're all going to kick things into high gear, and any one of them could drop like 25 points. So it's kind of scary. Courtney Williams' first half points, we're not going to get it at 5.5. It's going to be like 8.5, probably. That's what I'm thinking. Well, like let's see, her full game points line is 14.5, so that's 15. So 7.5 or 8.5, that's what we're going to get for the first half points line. I don't know why this projection is clear down there. And I don't like that. I like the second half points better. And then let's look at turnovers real quick. I would lean over on the turnovers if it's at 1.5. All right, Natasha Howard, 12.5 points. I actually think we should lean over on this. She had 20 and 21 points against them in the 2 previous head-to-heads. And she had 2 free throws and 7 free throws made in these 2 games. The shot chart looks horrible, but I mean, it isn't going to stop them from trying to score in the paint. And that could lead to free throws. I like it. You know, Fee's not on the court, so I definitely like it. It's a low number for Natasha Howard with no Fee. So like with no Fee, she averages 15.8 points. Even in away games, 15.8 points averaged. So even in this tough matchup, I still think the 12.5 is too low. The assists I'm not touching. I would lean under. Actually, it's kind of playable. Like minus 132 is playable, to be honest. So I would lean under the 3.5 assists on Natasha Howard. The 7.5 rebounds, hard to say because she had 6 and 15. So I'll stay away from the rebounds, which means I'll stay away from the combo lines. And yeah, I think all of Natasha Howard's first quarter, first half, and then full game points line, those all need to be considered. All right, moving on to Shakira with her crazy 17 points line. Over the last 5 games, the Lynx have actually stepped up their restricted area defense, which was their weakness earlier in the season. And they are ranking number 2 behind this team. So this is teams number 1 and number 2 against the restricted area right now over the last 5 games. But the paint is another story. Like the paint, they're giving up the most points in the paint out of any WNBA team. So Shakira is going to score there more than Kiki does. And so I do like Shakira to score more than Kiki, but I don't know if I like her to score 18 freaking points. That's a lot. So she only had 7 and 11 in the 2 previous games, but only played 22 minutes and 26 minutes. I have no lean on that line. It is too high, but this is where you do want to be betting on Shakira. Ultimately, I think it's too high. I'm going to lean under. The assists, I guess I would lean over. And then the rebounds at 10.5, I think I'm going to lean under. She had 8 and 16, but I'm not playing it. We're playing Kiki rebounds over. So that's probably, I'm biased to the under on everybody else. So yeah, nothing will be played on Shakira by me. But we will be on Kiki's rebounds. All right, Sonia Citron, she had good games against this Lynx team the last 2 times she played. She drives to the hoop a lot, which they've been getting better against, but she also scores in the paint. She can also score from above the break. Kind of like her on the over for the 16.5 points. Assists, I guess I have to lean to the over because she's been doing it. But this team is 6th against assists allowed, so top 6 basically. And then over the 3.5 rebounds. So yeah, I lean over on all of it. So like 4, 5, that's 9. I would lean over on the rebounds and assists, and I lean over on the points. So that would be 9 and 16.5. So 25.5 is the correct line. And I lean over. I think that she can have some good PRA games against this team. But if it ends up being a really super low scoring game, which it could be, then obviously she's not going to hit it. That's why I'm really trying to be careful here. Because if it ends up being a low scoring game, Kiki could still get her rebounds from all the missed shots, you know? So that's why we're trying to be safe in this game. Michaela Onyenwere, I would lean under on the points line. She did score 14 against the tempo, but it's the freaking tempo, and they can't stop anybody. Head-to-head, she had 5 in 23 minutes played and 5 shot attempts, and 2 in 23 minutes played and 5 shot attempts. So I think she's going to take 5 to 7 shots, probably not 9. But even if she does take 9, maybe, well, I guess that would put her over this line. I lean under. The assists I lean over. The rebounds I lean, let's see. I guess under. So PR might be a thing. They're giving us a points line at 9. Oh, okay, it's juice. Never mind. Her normal points line is 7.5. The PR line is 9.5. So you're not getting an extra point for fading the PR. So if anything, I'll probably just fade the points at 7.5. And I probably don't dare do that. All right, Lauren Betts. I think I would lean over on the 5.5 points because she's going to be the tallest player on the court by far. And that's not that many points. So she's going to play 20 minutes, it looks like. She's going to take 5 shots, maybe 6. And she's just got to make 3 of them, I guess. I guess that is asking kind of a lot. I guess we'll stay away from it. The assists, looks like she's going to get 1 to 2 assists. And the rebounds, I lean over on the 4.5. But I'm not taking her rebounds and Kiki's rebounds. Head-to-head, she only played 18 minutes and 16 minutes. She'll probably play closer to 20. So she might get a couple of extra minutes. So I think 5, 6, 10.5 for a PRA. PRA is at 11.5. So the books are saying she's going over on one of these lines. I think it's the rebounds. So over 4.5 rebounds is my lean for her. And then we're not getting any lines for the rest of these players. I want to see what Nia Coffey's line comes out at, because we might fade that. Head-to-head, she had 5 points both times, so we probably will get a 4.5 points line. Maybe 5.5, though. Like, with no fee, we should get a higher line, and maybe we can fade it. All right, Carla Lee at 17.5 that's a ridiculous number, but she has been over 20 plus in 4 out of the last 6 games. She has a good shot chart. Tempo don't play any defense. So, I think she could do it, but I'm not betting that. So I'll stick with the assist ladder that we talked about earlier. And then the rebounds, I guess I lean under on the 3.5. It's heavily juiced to the under already. It's even heavily juiced under 2.5. Over on the threes. And yeah, I just say we stick with our assist ladder, and that's about it on Carla. Turnovers at 3.5. That's kind of interesting, but probably not. Okay, Bridget Carlton. I do like the points. She has a great shot chart. She's going to shoot some threes. She had 15 and 10 in the two previous head-to-heads. She took 9 and 10 shots in both of those games. She's been taking 13, 14, 15, 19 shots in some of these games. So if she takes that many shots, I like the over. I think we bet on her shot attempts. Like, if they give it to us at 12.5, that's too high. But if they give it to us at like 10.5, maybe we bet over that. Okay, the assists I lean over, the rebounds I lean over. We just talked about the rebounds. Best price, 125 on DraftKings. Minus 125. I like her threes, but I'm not paying minus 162 to go over 2.5 threes. That's crazy. They're like, people must be playing those 3-pointers because they're giving us bad prices on them. All right. Turnovers, not interested. Oh, yeah. Okay, moving on. Megan Gustafson. She's been taking, or Megan DeLeo, they still haven't changed it in Props Madness. They've been taking 11, 8, 13, 6, 12, and 15. Kind of all over the place. So 6 to 15 shots. Head-to-head, she had 17 points and 14 points. She has a beautiful shot chart just like everybody else. So I lean over. And I lean over on the rebounds, same as Carlton. I think I'd rather play like Carlton on the rebounds, Megan on the points, Carla on the assists. That's kind of how I would do it. But I'm not playing the other two, most likely. I mean, I'm playing Bridget Carlton's rebounds for sure. So maybe I play Megan's points and just make it a 3-banger. Points, rebounds, assists for Carla, Bridget, and Megan. Emily Ainsley has just been barely under her lines in like every single game. So, like, she's super consistent. I guess what you could do is alt Emily Ainsley down to like 6.5 points. And that's a pretty good hit rate. She has a great shot chart. It's an easy matchup. Like, Emily Ainsley's probably going to be a pretty safe alt line based on her consistency lately with the points. All right, Marina, it says out, but, I don't really know yet if that's the case. And same with Sykes, same with Sabali, same with Conde. Except Conde might be, like, injured. I can't remember now. Like, permanently injured. I can't remember. I'll have to look into it. So I don't know if it's worth looking at these. I guess we will really quick. Marina, I would take on the over. I mean, it's the Fire. They're going to allow a lot of 3-pointers. Head-to-head, she had 19 and 9 points, so she missed both times. These were both big blowout losses where she, only played 22 minutes in this game, played 28 minutes in this game. But if it was a more competitive game, then she would have played more and probably gone over that line. So I'd lean to the over. The assists I would not touch. The rebounds I would not touch. She's not going to do that as much with Brittany Sykes back. So, and then first quarter points, I like it as well. But I think full game is just fine too. All right, for Brittany Sykes, she got a 10.5 points line for this game late. And I was thinking about taking it, but I did not do it, and I should have done it because she scored 15. I like her over 12.5 in this game as well. So she only played 20 minutes, 21 minutes. So I expect the same in this game, 20 minutes. But she should be able to score in that 20 minutes. She'll probably do some assisting. She'll probably do some rebounding. I think the PRA is a little bit high, so I think I like the points the best. The value's already gone because she already smashed it in the last game. But you could also play her for over 9.5 points probably as an alt line. Pair that with something else for a double up. Yeah, that's not too bad, I guess, on the DFS apps. And that is all I have for you guys. That's all we have. But, I mean, let's look at Anissa Morrow real quick. Sorry. Because I forgot. We do want Anissa Morrow's rebounds. So whatever they give it to us at, like, it's going to be too low. There's going to be a lot of rebounds in this game. And I don't know who on the tempo can get them besides Anissa. So if they give this line at 8.5, that's crazy. Like, even though she is only cleared at one time with Toronto in that Fever game, I think she's going to crush this line, like get 9, 10, 11, 12 even. Probably not 16, but I see like 10 plus for Anissa Morrow. She only had 8 in the previous head-to-head, but they lost by 14. She only played 24 minutes. I guess that's all she played in the Mystics game too. They lost by 11. So they are working her back in, or working her in to their lineup, I guess. But I just think when she's out there, she's going to be grabbing rebounds. So I think I have to take it. And that is it, you guys. So that's all I have for you for the Friday slate. Hopefully our Thursday games go really well as well. Maybe you'll see some NFL preseason games and maybe not, because I'll probably try to stick to these WNBA games. Plus I have a lot of work to do on the house still. So it's going to take me like a month to move in. Like I did not even think about that, but it's going to take a long time. Anyway, make sure you get in for the cash prize giveaway. Like the video, hype the video if you're on mobile if you can, and then we will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.